Hey there, Japan Code here, and yeah, we'll get to that soon. So, like I was saying in my last update, I was about to start doing overtime at work, and now 3 months later, I'm still doing overtime, and damn it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. So, okay, there's a couple things I'm just gonna get out of the way first. I haven't done any meditation at all since then, maybe for the first like week or two, I guess. And same thing with my diet. I haven't been taking care of that, and I've gained a bit of weight back. But that's okay because I know that as soon as the work calms down a bit, I'm just gonna be able to get right back into it. So for now, I'm just accepting it because there's no point in feeling guilty about it. I'm better off just accepting it and moving on. And I know I'll just get back to it as soon as I can. So early in this 3 month period, I know I started having tooth pain. Some of you, if you follow me on Twitter, might remember that. I ended up having to get a root canal surgery. So for like the week and a half where I was in pain, I didn't do all that much. Obviously, was working like crazy to make up for the hours that I had missed, and also like I was still doing my reps, but I didn't do anything like any new cards at the time, and didn't immerse as much because I just couldn't focus. So I did as much as I could, but after that it was passive only. Also, I don't remember if I had talked about it, but I did have some like lower back and leg pain since March. Technically, it was since a year ago, but it stopped and then it came back. And well, it just got worse and worse and worse. So I ended up having to do some physiotherapy. And I went 2 or 3 times, I can't remember. But after the last time, the exercises that they gave me started actually like relieving the pain. So I've been doing those since then. I wouldn't say it's gone completely, but it's not really painful anymore. It's more just like uncomfortable, and it's not like at all time. It's mostly just like if I've been sitting for a while, when I get up, it'll be a bit uncomfortable for a minute, but that's like nothing compared to before, so I'll take it. And I'm sure as soon as, again, I stop doing overtime and I can actually rest properly, and as long as I keep with the exercises, I'm sure it'll get like fully better, and then after that it'll just be a worry of actually like strengthening my back, because we think the problem is like around the the L4 disc, I think. So it's probably like something, I did a false movement, and now that disc was like touching my sciatic nerve or something like that. Anyways, I don't really understand it all that well, but that's the most of it. So yeah, other than that little first month period, I've been having really no issues as far as immersion goes. I've been, just a quick calculation, I've been averaging about 50 to 55 hours of passive immersion per week, and about 30 to 35 hours of active, which gives me about 80 to 90 hours of listening per week. Obviously the active could be a bit higher, but because again of work, I haven't really had much time to do more than that. So that's, I'm actually fine with it. I think that's pretty good considering. Also, one thing, about a month ago, like my craving to read manga had become like really strong. So I decided to start reading manga just a little bit. That was a month ago, and since then I've only read 3 volumes. So it's been only like 1 or 2 hours per week. So it's not a whole lot. It's like 2% of my immersion has come from reading. So like I'm sure it's going to have like the tiniest little effect on my accent in the future. But it's going to be so little that I think it was worth it. Just for the sake of scratching that itch. And now the way I see it also is just that like, it's true that I do care about my accent a lot, and that I don't want my Japanese to have the same thing happen to it as my English, whereas like after like 6 years of learning, I was like very fluent at reading, but I like essentially couldn't talk at all. So it's true that I don't want that to happen, but I also don't really care to be perfect. It's one of those things where when I'll get to that point, I'll be like, I'll continuously be like working on it to improve. But I don't think, I think by not reading, I'd barely get just a little bit further, and I'd still have to keep working on it anyways. So at that point, I think like the time saved is not worth the trouble. To a certain limit, obviously. I'm not saying sorry, there was a fly. I'm not saying start reading, like, for all your immersion and screw listening. That's not what I'm saying, obviously. But yeah. So okay, some more, I guess, some actual stats for now. My Anki streak, as you might have noticed in the little intro clip, I'm at 281 days. I might have been 280 in that clip, but I'm pretty sure I hadn't done my reviews for today yet, so that's why. So I ended up obviously finishing Take Him with 730 cards. I skipped the fourth section, so I did the first three big sections, like the whatever it is, like the basic, essential, advanced, or special, I should say, and then I skipped the advanced or whatever the fourth one is. Sorry, there's like this damn fly's annoying. But I did read through the section that I skipped, so that was that. I've actually learned in my immersion one of the grammar points introduced in the section that I skipped, so that was cool. I started sentence mining, which some, if not most of you, probably know because I did put a video on it, and those who follow me on Twitter, I've posted about that a couple times. But I have not made as many as I wanted to, but that makes sense. You know, like I said, the first month I didn't do as much as I wanted to, and then because of overtime, I also a lot of times did not do new cards. So considering, I think it's not too bad. I've done 500 cards, which means 250 sentences, because I'm using that conditional format that Matt posted on his Patreon. So I have like one card. For each sentence, I have a card that's audio on the front and then one that's text on the front. So I test my listening and reading. And also another benefit is they kind of reinforce each other. So it makes the reps a lot easier and smoother. And now, of course, for kanji. What you're probably waiting for. So I had started suspending like not too long after the last video. If not before, I don't actually remember. But I had started suspending all the painful kanji because getting myself to do the reps, like I was always doing them early in the day, but it was like a real like mental struggle. I never really wanted to do it. I never enjoyed doing it. It was always like just a pain, and I didn't want to do it. But I was convinced that I have to do it. I can't quit it. You know, I've spent so much time on it. You know, that fallacy. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to suspend these painful ones, and I'll just wait until I'm fluent, and then I'll go back through the ones I've suspended. That was my plan. But even by doing that, I had suspended like 100 or 200 of them so far, and it was not any less painful at all. And I didn't even have any less reviews at this point. Like I wasn't even getting a lot of reviews, mind you. Like, I was only getting maybe like 40 a day, but it was still painful, and it was really annoying. So I posted about it on Twitter a few times, and after talking to some people, I ended up coming to the conclusion that I should just stop reviewing RTK. Yes, that's right. I stopped reviewing RTK. It feels weird to say. There's a couple of reasons why I say a couple. It's more like one big reason why I decided to stop. First of all, my issue with kanji was not that I couldn't recognize the kanji, because I see the kanji and it's like, you know all the primitives, and you see it as it's a specific combination of primitives, and I recognize those specific like assortments, right? I just can't link it to the story or the keyword. And then I also tried switching them to the lazy kanji way, but then that was even, I don't know about worse, because it was faster, but it was just as painful because I'm like, well, I recognize the kanji, but I can't remember what the keyword is. I don't remember the keywords. I don't know the keywords. That's my problem. So, but the thing is, I've done RTK twice, right? I've done it once 3 years ago in a previous attempt, and I've done it once this year. And both times I had the same issues, and even now doing it the second time, the issue didn't get any lesser, except for the few kanji that I've actually like had that click aha moment. I'm like, oh yeah, I know this. It's in this word, and now I can kind of remember. Just an easy example, the kanji for friend or tomodachi. So that's one that I'm like, oh yeah, that's the kanji for that word, and then that word is like, oh yeah, it's that kanji. And then because of that, that's one of those that I knew very well. And that's kind of, when I thought about it, that's when it clicked. I'm like, that's why they're not sticking, because I need to have a connection with the words. But I can't do that. I can't do that until I'm fluent. Except if I just keep struggling through the pain, or like go one word at a time and wait till I see it in kanji, but then I'm not going to think about it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, at least not for me. And so it became pretty clear that the problem's not going to fix itself until I'm fluent. Or more so, until I can use Japanese keywords for every kanji. Not so much until I'm fluent, but I need to be fluent to be able to do that, And so it became pretty clear to me what my plan for the next couple years is going to be. First of all, stop reviewing RTK completely. First of all, obviously, to stop the pain. So if I'm not reviewing RTK, I'm not getting the pain that was caused by reviewing RTK. That's pretty obvious. And with the extra time and energy that I'm going to have, I'm going to be able to put it towards actually, making new sentence cards every day. So since I stopped reviewing at the end of last week-ish, or I should say at the end of this week, I have, in fact, done sentences every day, which I know doesn't say a lot. I say, oh yeah, well, you did it for like 7 days in a row. Good fucking job. But you have to realize that hasn't happened yet, of me making new sentence cards a whole week in a row. So that's like a clear change right there. And also, obviously it takes less time. It takes less time to make 10 sentence cards, or make 10 sentence 20 cards than it does to rep 40 kanji for me, because I'm pretty fast at actually making the cards since I've already mined them before. So then once I'm going to reach the point where I decide to actually stop making sentence cards, so you can throw around the 10,000 sentences or whatever, but like I'm thinking in like two years and a half or something like that, like at the three. That's probably going to be around the 3 year mark, honestly. Like that's probably when I'm going to be like, you know what, I've gotten enough out of making new sentence cards. For now, I'm just going to rep and actually learn right from Immersion. And I'm estimating it's going to be the 3 year mark. It could be a bit before, it could be a bit after. But at that point, since I'm going to stop actually making new sentence cards, and since it's not a good thing to do 2 types of new cards at the same time, since it's easier to like stick with only one thing, and so I'll be done with making sentence card, I'm going to go through RTK again, the vanilla way with writing, except with Japanese keywords. So that way I'm going to have enough vocabulary, because at that point I'm going to be fluent for all the kanji. And if there's a couple kanji that I don't have vocabulary for, at that point it's going to be easy to actually learn a vocabulary for that, and then couple days later go back and actually do that kanji, learn that kanji. The other option would have been to, like, before I finish doing new sentence cards, I could like take a break from doing sentence cards and then go through RTK and then get back to sentences after that. But I figure if I wait a bit longer and finish doing sentences first, now that I know that I'm going to stop at some point, that way it's going to make RTK even easier, just from the fact that I'm going to have even more vocabulary, so it's going to be easier to like associate it with it. At least that's my train of thought at the moment. So by doing it this way, it's going to be easier, and also I'm in no rush to like get everything done, right? I'm not like, oh, I have to be fluent by not fluent, but I have to be near native by like 3 years exactly. At that point, I have to be near native in every aspect. No, I don't need to go that fast. So at that point, when I do RTK, I'm going to be able to take it slow, do maybe like 10 kanji a day, which might sound slow to a lot of people, but when you think about it, at that point, I'm going to have been learning Japanese seriously for 3 years. So doing 10 kanji a day is going to take me 300 days, which is 10 months. And what's 10 months compared to 3 years, right? Plus at that point, because, again, I'm going to be fluent, I'm going to have like whatever choice of immersion that I want to immerse with, and it's going to be a lot more fun, and I'm going to be learning. I mean, not that it's not fun now, that's not what I'm saying, but just I'll be able to actually immerse with everything that I actually want to. Like I won't have to limit myself to specific things as long as I keep some listening and some reading. And I keep losing my train of thought. And yeah, by doing 10 a day, I'll be able to take the time to actually learn the kanji properly, which isn't going to take as long as it would now, just from the fact, again, that I would have a bigger connection to them. And I would have less reviews, which means it would take less time overall, which means I could spend that time on immersion, which is where I'm going to be learning at that point, since I'll only be doing reviews for sentence cards. So I think all in all, it's going to be better to wait for after. Another reason for that is because, like how most people doing RTK have, myself included, have or had that mentality of, I need to get through RTK as fast as possible so that I can get to real Japanese. Well, if I'm done doing sentences, I can't have this mentality anymore. So I can take my time, and there's no rush to get to real Japanese, because I'll be not done, but done with real Japanese. Okay, so I think my reasoning here is clear enough, and I can stop talking about it. But yeah, so that's my plan for now. I'm gonna stop reviewing RTK, get to the point where I'm fluent, and I decide that I would get more from immersion than from actually sentence mining, and then go back and do RTK, take it slow, take it easy, and learn it properly. So, okay, let's go into the more statistics a little bit. So my take-home retention rate. Now, I don't really care about the percentage, but I know it's good to just share it. Now, you have to remember that I wasn't doing new cards every day, and I was doing a low amount of cards, like between 10 and 15 max per day. So, obviously because of that, my retention rate is higher. Yes, there's the whole thing. I could have gone faster and have a smaller retention rate, but as a whole, with the percentage, I'd remember more. But I don't really care about that for now. I was just doing what I could handle, and that was it. So, with that said, my take-home retention rate at the moment is at 97.5%, with almost 1,000 mature reviews. But again, since I took it super slow, that's why it's so high. And with sentence mining, the same thing. It's at about 95%, but I only have 65 mature reps, so it's kind of too early to tell. But it's already lower than take-home, so it's probably going to be better. And better, I don't mean like higher, but like in a better range once I start having more mature reps. My total amount of reviews is 40,500. I don't know why I said 0.500. 40,500, which is actually just about exactly 10,000 more than 3 months ago. So that shows you how few new cards I've been doing, that I only got 10,000 in this 3 month period. But yeah, so for sentence mining, I've been mining through Nanan Biori, and I actually finished mining the first season today. I haven't learned all the cards that I've mined from them yet, but I finished actually mining it. So in a week or two, once I'm done with the cards that I have mined, I'm going to be mining season 2. That means I'm technically halfway through mining this show. and it actually feels pretty cool to be to have mine like a whole season of a show, and I'm sure it's gonna feel cool when I have mine the whole show, with both seasons. And I actually intend on trying to rewatch the show after that, and then putting it in my passive immersion for a week. Then maybe like wait a couple of weeks and then watch it again, just to see like how my comprehension of something I've sentence mined goes, just for the hell of it, because that sounds fun to me. And speaking of comprehension, okay, so there's a lot of people that have been asking me like what percentage my comprehension is. Like, oh, what's your comprehension like? And I understand that that's a question that, like, that's something that people are going to be wondering. Oh, you've been studying for 6 months, for 9 months, a year and a half, 2 years. What's your comprehension like? How much do you understand? But I never gave an answer because I didn't know how am I supposed to give you a number to explain my comprehension, Like, I'll understand words in just about every sentence. And then, some sentence I'm going to understand everything but one word, and some sentence I'm going to understand everything, and a lot of them, there's going to be a lot that I don't understand. It's kind of hard to put a number on that. But I thought of a way to actually show you what my understanding is, or I should say what my comprehension is. So what I did is I picked 100 random sentences from my sentence bank. So 20 sentences from 5 different shows of different levels, I guess. Like, some of them, one of the shows was obviously non-Biori, from the sentences I have in mind yet. And I just went at random, like I'd scroll down, click, without like looking at the size of the sentence, and then I'd just see it. And if it was I+0 sentence, or a sentence I understood fully, put it in a spreadsheet in a specific column. Then if it was I+1 sentence, I'd put it in a column. Then if it was I+2, 3, 4 or more, then I put it in a different column. And then I did that for 100 sentence, 20 sentence from 5 different series. Series were Non-Biori, Shingeki no Kyojin, Sword Art Online, Bakuman, and what the hell was the 5th one? What was the 5th one? Let me check. I don't remember. Konosuba. Konosubarashi, whatever is after. So I did that, and I assigned a point value to each of them. So the I+0 sentences, those I understood fully, were 1 point. Those that were I+1, I gave them a 0.7 points. And the reason I went 0.7 is because, if it's I+1, that means I understand most of it. So it'd be worth more than half, right? And that was my logic, at least. And the other ones that were I+2, 3, 4, I gave them 0.2 points. And the reason it's not 0 points is because there's always going to be at least something that I understand in it, right? It's going to be at least like one word or a grammar that you understand, or some particle, there's the chances of picking a sentence that has literally not a single thing that is very low, at this point at least. And so that's why I did this way. And also used, both the audio and the text. So there's some that I would see the text and I'd be like, I have no clue what that is. But then I'd hear the audio, I'm like, oh yeah, I actually know this word. I just don't know the kanji for it. Like Bakuretsu Maho from Konosuba, what is it? Explosion magic, something like that. I've never seen it written before, so when I saw that, it's in one of my sentences. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell is that? Then I played the audio, and I'm like, oh, Bakuretsu Maho. Yeah, of course. I know that. So yeah. And with this, it gave me a comprehension percentage. Now, obviously, it's probably not accurate. It's just, it's a small sample size. It's 100 sentences. But I think it's still better than just randomly giving a number. Like, I would probably say something that's like way too low, and then it would discourage people. So I figured, I'll do that. It's fun. And I actually thought it was fun because it was like motivating to see how much I was actually understanding. And I don't really care about the specific percentage I'm getting. That's not what I was doing. I was doing it more like to give an answer to people, and like I said, it ended up being motivating to see how much I was actually understanding. And then seeing how even in the sentences that I don't understand everything, that there was still some stuff that I understood. And so before I tell you the answer, I'm just going to say I'm going to put a link in the description to the spreadsheet. It has all the information on there, and you can see the actual list of sentences and how I sorted them. That way you can look at it and be like, oh yeah, I understand those, but those I don't understand. And then you can be like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for 7 months, and there's a couple that he understands that I don't. Or the flip side, like, oh yeah, I understand these ones that he didn't understand. So you can kind of compare it that way. And so the result that I got was 69.8%. Which at first I saw that and I'm like, that's way too high, that's impossible, there's no way I understand 69.8%. But when you think about it, that means that every 10 words in a text or whatever, there's going to be 3 words that I don't know. Now I'm going to put on the screen a little sentence. I think it was like 40 words in there. And that means out of the 40 words, there's 12 words that you don't understand. So I replaced 12 words with Z's, because I couldn't think of just random words that we wouldn't know what it means. So I just put Z's and then try to read this. And that's actually pretty close to how it feels. Obviously, there's a difference because sometimes there's going to be a couple sentences in a row that you just understand everything. And then there's also sometimes going to be a couple sentences in a row that you just don't understand much except random words or grammar here and there. But overall, I think that's actually a pretty good representation of my comprehension. So I'm glad I did this because, again, I'm repeating myself, but it was pretty motivating to see the result, with the actual sentences, seeing what I actually understand. And on the flip side, and on top of that, I think it actually ended up being a pretty accurate, not exactly accurate, but pretty accurate. So yeah, that's what my comprehension is like at 9 months, and I'm looking forward to see how that improves over time. So, with that said, that was a very long video, but there was a lot to say and a lot of changes. Not really my goal, but like my next update is going to be on January 10th. I'm going to try to have it on specifically January 10th, just because that's when I started doing MIA. So that way I could have it at exactly 1 month, not 1 month and a week, not 1 month, 1 year. So, that would be great if I can have it specifically exactly to the day 1 year. But, that's a Thursday, so it might wait till the weekend. We'll see then. But anyways, my goals, like usual, I don't really have specific goals. I just want to keep at it. But, I wrote a few goals. Like, if I keep doing 10 sentences per day, if we consider that I might have a cumulative 1 week of not doing new cards, that means it would bring me to just over 1,000 sentences or just over 2,000 cards. So I guess I could put that as a goal, get to 1,000 sentences by then. I want to keep up with the immersion, of course. I really want to focus on, doing what's fun at the moment. So if I'm watching a show and it's not fun, then just drop it. I can always go back to it if I feel like watching more of it. If I feel like reading more, then so be it. I'll read more. But if I don't feel like reading more, then, I'm not going to force myself to. Meditation, I don't know when work is going to start, to calm down. But I guess my goal is from whenever work calms down and I do get back to meditation up till, January 10th, I want to be able to, to do it every day for 5 minutes per day. Just get back into it, ease back into it, but do it every day from that moment. And it's the same with my diet. I want to get back into it only when work calms down, because right now it would be too much, as far as willpower and stuff. But from that point on, I want to be able to, ease back into it, but do it every day. I think right now I'm back up to 236 pounds, I think. So I guess my only goal is to not get higher than that, I guess. And then, of course, depending on when I do get back into it, then, I'll probably lose a bit of weight. If it shouldn't be much more later than a month from now. So at that point, I'm definitely going to lose weight. So, okay, let's put it that way. My goal is to weigh less than I do now. How about that? So less than 235. And that's it. So that was a very long update, but like I said, there was a lot to talk about, and there was a lot of growth that happened. There was a lot of growth that happened within these 3 months, and within this overtime season at work. I've learned a lot about myself and about a lot of things, really. Not that I enjoyed all this overtime, because I'm really freaking dead, if you couldn't tell. But at least, I actually got some stuff out of it that probably would have taken me longer to realize, if not for having so little free time during this time. So I'm gonna cut it now because this is like half an hour. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to put a little summary somewhere in the description or in the comments. But if not, thank you for watching, and thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate all the comments of people saying that they enjoy watching my updates, and either because they find it helpful, or like because it's good to know that you don't have to be perfect, because I'm definitely not. So that's it. Okay, I'm done for now. Bye.